Next part of the meeting is communication. We have no speakers, so we'll move right into superintendent recommendation and reports. Mr. Smith?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Martin to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, Mr. Bagley, and members of the board. I have several items for you this evening under Personnel Professional. The first item, letters A through E, are resignations. I do want to stop and just mention a little bit about letters A and B. Two teachers who are retiring from our district, Debbie Frymuth and Laura Griffin. Debbie Frymuth has worked in our district for 36 years. 36 years. Her whole career in education has been in Fairfield, and she served the last 11 years in our curriculum department and has done some great work there. Second is Laura Griffin. She has been in education for 37 years, and 34 of those have been in our district. So between these two educators, as they retire, we're going to be losing 70 years of experience here in Fairfield and 73 in the profession as a whole, just between these two people. They say that teaching is art and science, and I believe these teachers have done both throughout the years. I want to thank them for every student they've taught, for every aha moment a student had as a result of their teaching. And like I said, for the last 11 years, both of them have worked as instructional specialists in the district office, and they've helped teachers all along the way. So wish them a very happy retirement and say thank you for all that they've done.
Absolutely.
Item number 2, extracurricular resignations, letters A and B. Item number 3, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A through E. Item 4, employment. Letter A is the Academy Extended School Year Administrator for the current year. B is the Academy Extended School Year Teachers for the current year. Item C, Elementary Summer School Tutoring Principal. Letter D, Elementary Summer School Tutors for the current year. Item E, Secondary Summer School Principal. Letter F, Special Education Extended School Year Services. Letter G, Extracurriculars for the 21-22 school year. Letter H, Academic Support Tutors. Letter I, Home Instructor. Letter J, Substitute Teacher. Letter K, volunteers who are going to be coaching in our district as volunteers this year. Quite a few items this evening. That concludes the items under Personnel Professional.
Do I have a motion to accept the recommendations as read?
So moved. Second?
Mrs. Gundrum and Mrs. Shorter. Will you please call the roll, Mrs. Lane?
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Begley, members of the board, I have several items for your consideration under Personnel Support. Letter B, number 1, resignations. Letter A. Number 2, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A through D. Number 3, employment, letters A through G. And number 4, promotion, letter A. That concludes the items that I have for your consideration under Personnel Support.
Again, I would entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second. Ms. Birding and Mr. Clark. Mrs. Lane, call the roll, please.
Mr. Birding? I'm sorry, Ms. Birding. I will get that right tonight.
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter? Yes. Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have one item for your consideration under other items for board action. Letter C, number 1, recommend approval for the treasurer to advertise for bids for the following capital projects. Just a reminder, those items were discussed at the last board meeting, letters A through F. That concludes the items that I have for your consideration under other items for board action.
I'll accept a motion to entertain these recommendations.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Clark, Ms. Birding, is there any discussion or questions? Mrs. Lane, call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter? Yes. Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.